the Shelby is definitely louder. My GoPro is starting to fall down on my head clip. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the joyride. You guys could hear the turbo noises and see how nasty this car really is. But it's time that I officially list my built motor Turbo FRS up for sale. I've had this car for a very long time. I bought it bone stock, everything done to this car. It was done under my ownership, so I know everything there is to know about the twin platform and especially my car. Now I know a lot of you guys are probably asking, dude, why are you selling this car? You have a lot of time, you have a lot of money into it. Honestly, it's time that I go ahead and get into something a little bit different. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this car as far as, you know, mechanically and moving it around. There are some little gremlins, but as you guys saw in the intro clip, this car gets in the boosts and it gets down. Let me go ahead and kind of do a little bit of a walk around, and we're gonna be talking about why I'm selling the car and pretty much what this car is all about. So as you guys can see here, here is my built motor Turbo FRS. Nothing too crazy. I wanted to kind of keep a clean, low profile with this build. Didn't want to wide body it, didn't want to put any like crazy body panels on it. Nothing wrong with that, but it's just personally not my style. I kind of like that OEM plus look. You guys have probably noticed that with all the cars that I've, you know, put on the channel. I like to have it just clean, simple, and functional. That's like the most important thing with my cars, is I like to keep them functional, because obviously performance is a huge aspect when I am looking, you know, at vehicles and when I am trying to modify vehicles. Now, this car, it's a relatively low mile twin. Let me go ahead and show you guys how many miles are on this thing right now. On the built motor setup, it has 2,300 miles on it. You guys can see here, it has 352 miles since the last oil change, literally a fresh oil change, and this car has just over 49,000 miles on it. At this time you're watching the video, I may or may not have put the ad up. I might have made a mistake and said it has 47,000 miles on it. It has 49, but there are only 2,300 miles on the built motor setup. I do have proof of that, and obviously 352 miles since the last oil change. No metal, no issues. The car is ready to rip. As you guys saw in the intro clip, this thing sure in fact rips. So as far as under the hood goes, I know you guys are probably wondering, well, what the hell is under the hood of this car? I do have an IAG Staged Shortblock. You guys can see the proof, the stamp is right there. This is a built motor setup. This is a stage 1 short block. This is good for 550 horsepower, way more than this platform does need. 500 horsepower in this car will need, quite literally, a slick on it to hook up. So I know a lot of guys that have this platform probably don't want to run a slick. Personally, I don't really want to run a slick on this car, so this is way more than enough. 350 wheel horsepower is literally all you need to have a lot of fun. I also have a Greddy T518Z turbo, makes all the great noises, spools up almost instantly, 3,000 RPM. I'm booking, I'm in boost. I have a JDL oil cooler. As you guys can see, the sandwich plate is right there. The oil cooler is down there. I have an upgraded 700 horsepower JDL intercooler. So I have a bunch of supporting mods needed to obviously make 400 horsepower, which is what this car does make on the high boost setting. I've been driving it around on a more moderate tune, 350 wheel, which is more than enough. That's what you guys saw in the intro clip. I do have a Radium catch can over there. I have a 6-star Motorsports boost controller, and for the most part, that's going to be it under the hood as far as like supporting mods. Now, fueling goes, I have a DW 700cc injectors as well as a 300-liter fuel pump. So more than enough fuel to support 350 wheel horsepower. This car is a ball of fun at 350 wheels. So if you're looking for something that you can just drive around the town, looking for something to track, which I feel like a lot of you guys would probably do with this car. You guys can see we got the Trackspec hood fence. So this thing is, it's literally set up to track. Like, I kind of had the track oriented mindset when building this, just so it could literally do it all. Street track, have a blast. I do have a VIS carbon fiber trunk. This is probably the only like flashy thing done to this car. Has a little bit of a duck bill. This is like the only flashy thing that I have to this car, literally. And you guys can see I have real work in motion Kawamis. Have a little bit of a chip here, but it's not that big of a deal. These are real. These are not the odd hod reps. These cars benefit from a rear wheel that's lightweight. 18 by 9.5 plus 38 square offset. I think the fitment's pretty damn good. Does not rub. So I think it's perfect for street track as well. I know a lot of track guys like to run 17 by 9s, but I mean, I just like the fitment here, man. I have Toyo R888R tires. These are going to be 255 35 18 square again, and these do pretty good. They got some pretty decent life left. I'm gonna have them aired down slightly just so it does hook up, but for the most part, this car is a ball of fun, man. I got the OEM STI like spats, side skirts. Like, there's literally no reps parts on this car at all. This is the real deal, quite literally. I didn't want to put any reps on here. You can arguably say the HIC roof spoiler is a rep, but I just don't like the Todoroki. I think it looks way too aggressive in my personal opinion. If you guys have seen cars with Todoroki roof spoilers, it's like vertical. It's too much for me. I'm sorry, but that's obviously an easy fix. You just got to wait for it to come in because it might take 6 to 8 months, but I don't personally like it. Nothing wrong with it. Some people love it, but I personally just don't love that look on this car, especially non-wide body. Now the interior is pretty fair, I ain't gonna lie. Again, it's just literally OEM plus. The only bad thing about the interior, I guess not really bad thing, but inconvenience, is that I do not have the rear butt for the back seat, which is kind of irrelevant because the back seats on this car are useless. There literally is no reason to have a back seat, so that's it. But we do have the AEM Boost oil P3 vent gauge, quick release steering wheel, Sparco. Comes off just like that, and obviously this is 6-speed manual. Stock OEM, have replacement that I will include with the sale as well, but that's pretty much it, man. That is pretty much it. Oh, and speaking of 6-speed, this does have a South Bend Stage 3 clutch with the Veris forged clutch fork, so it's good to go with the OEM Flywheel. So it literally drives like stock, but makes 350 to 400 wheel horsepower depending on what map you're on. Now, I know a lot of you guys may be wondering, dude, why are you selling the car? It's like a dream setup for a lot of 86 owners. I've gotten that DM on Instagram a lot of times since I've actually listed this car for sale, and I've gotten that DM from people who are just enjoying the content, which I do appreciate y'all. I see y'all, don't think I don't. Now, here's the thing. when I got this car rebuilt about 6 months ago, beginning of January 2023, I told myself before I even took delivery of the car for the second time, technically, the first time obviously when I did buy the car bone stock, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it 6 months if I still want to get into something else, and also if I've not put any money in this car, I was gonna go ahead and let it go and list it for sale. Now, I've had this car for 6 months. Now, that is a very long time as far as car modifications and car things goes in general. I have put $0 into this car except oil changes, which I'm not really gonna go ahead and count. That's pretty insane coming from me, because in 6 months time, my cars are either full bolt-on or they're boosted. You guys saw that with the GT350, you guys saw that with the 2-valve. Those cars were either fully bolted on or they're boosted, quite literally, within 6 months time. And 6 months after doing the built motor turbo setup, or I should say just the built motor setup, because the car was already turboed before then, I have put $0 in the car. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I have been looking at other vehicles, and I think I'm gonna be jumping on another vehicle, which I'm really excited to go ahead and get into. I've already talked to the seller. I'm just waiting for this thing to sell, and I'm picking that up. And I know for a fact, content aside, because again, I don't buy cars strictly for content, I buy cars for enjoyment. I know for a fact y'all are gonna really like this car, because this is something I've been looking at for honestly over a month now, literally over a month now, and I'm now just gonna go ahead and say, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on it. So that's the car, y'all. It's been my baby for a while. It's been fun, but again, I'm looking to move on to something else. I honestly cannot wait. Hopefully it's still available when this is sold, because I can't wait. All I'm gonna say is I can't wait, and y'all are gonna really like the whip that I'm about to get in after this. I mean, it's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty. Now, the funny thing is, the GT350 is essentially replacing this car as like the track, you know, oriented build. Obviously the 350 is, you know, a different league, and it's an animal. I'm gonna be boosting that car, but the car that I'm gonna be picking up, it fits the vibe of the 2-valve, where it's just raw, and it literally is just gonna be just a full-on race car. Obviously, I'm not gonna go full-on race car on a GT350, because I ain't doing that to a Shelby, and I know a lot of Shelby owners, they would go crazy if I was to do the same thing with the 2-valve with that car. Trust me, I ain't doing that to the Shelby. I know to not disrespect that name, but this new car, it's gonna be a race car, let me tell you that, and it's already packing a punch. Now, obviously, it can't all be good news, man. This car does have some imperfections on it here. You guys can see it has the infamous bumper sag, but in all reality, this is not nearly as bad as I've seen some of the other cars. It does have, you know, a couple scrapes on the front bumper, but this thing is so low. The nice thing about these cars is these front bumpers are so damn cheap, and most people that have FRSs replace these anyway with the BRZ or the new 86, so you could probably honestly sell this for like 150 bucks, literally, and get another one. Somebody would buy it, I'm telling you that right now. It does have 2 dings right here. Mexico nights back in the day. And it does have a scratch on the door, which honestly could just be replaced with you could probably put clear coat and some touch-up paint, and that's gone. But other than that, that's the car, y'all. Does have a custom exhaust from P&O Motorsports from Illinois. They did a badass job. This is probably my favorite part of the car, is this exhaust. Shape of the 4th brake light. You can obviously unbolt this and put your own cap back if you don't like this. It's literally just a clamp, so it literally can come right out. You can literally probably sell this for like 1,500 bucks. I'm not even kidding, and get whatever cap back you want if you didn't like that. But I like it. But if you didn't like it, it's like you could definitely sell it for 1,500 bucks. Somebody will buy it, I promise you that. But that's about it, y'all. This car is good to go. Oh, one thing I did forget to add, added security, I did do ARP 1/2-inch headstuds, so you are actually really good to go with turning up the boost. But that's the car, y'all. This is the FRS, officially up for sale. You guys are probably asking that question, how much do you want for it? $17,500, with obviously it needing the cam sensors and potentially an OEM, ECU replacement. But the car runs and drives. I'm making this video in real time. It runs and drives, so pick it up, drive it home, and have some fun, man.